Following up for you tonight, close to a dozen local first responders called up by FEMA to help with hurricane relief in Texas and then to Florida. They're finally back home. Bill Folsom here with more on what they faced and some of those lessons learned, Bill.
Yeah, these are firefighters from Colorado Springs and Pueblo. They left with plans to help after one hurricane and ended up responding to two. 11 days in Texas, 10 days all the way down to the Florida Keys. They say the expanse of the destruction is more than you can capture on video. First, Hurricane Harvey with its 50 inches of rain flooding South Texas.
We actually couldn't even get into the area, so they had to fly us in on military C-130s and flew us into Beaumont.
And then in Harvey, we flew out about 3,500 evacuees out of in that first 36 hours of our mission.
In Texas, running evacuation centers inundated with thousands of refugees, then moving out and searching for people by boat.
We just went door to door, making sure everybody was okay.
Water rescues and evacuations by air, some days around the clock, most days starting at 5 in the morning and working until 10 or 11 at night. Heading home after nearly 2 weeks, they'd called home to say, "We're on our way."
About 10 o'clock at night, and got the phone call, and they said, "Turn around." They said, Irma's going to hit now, and they said, make our way to Florida.
Another hurricane hits Florida, but a very different response.
The destruction was completely different with both hurricanes.
Florida's destruction more about the hurricane force winds. First checking on people who stayed through the storm, then one by one assessing structures and property.
Assessing whether the house had no damage, moderate damage, whether it had failed or whether it was totally destroyed. And then those get marked by GPS and then they get placed on a Google map.
The average, 1,000 houses checked a day. 2 weeks of intense search and rescue work that's now going to be part of training at home.
In our community and just within our fire department, we're already gearing up to provide information back on just emergency preparedness and just how the operations went down there.
And at home, these are our local firefighters. When called up by Colorado Task Force 1, they are federal employees with FEMA. They are home because search and rescue is scaling back. They say recovery and rebuilding is just starting with a very long timeline ahead.